All right, let's jump right in. You know the scene. A massive sales deal, weeks, maybe months in the making, is right at the finish line. And then, poof, it just vanishes. The customer goes completely dark. So who's to blame? Right, our first instinct is always to point the finger at the salesperson. But what if the person who actually killed that deal wasn't in sales at all? What if they work in accounting or IT or maybe even HR? Today, we're going to uncover that hidden sales power that exists inside every single job title. For a lot of people, especially if you're not in a customer-facing role, when you hear the word sales, this is what pops into your head, right? This kind of gross feeling of being pushy, of having to sweet talk someone, maybe even being a little bit fake just to make a buck. And you know what? It's a huge mental barrier. But what if that whole idea of what sales is just wrong? Yeah, that old school, slick-haired idea of a salesperson is completely dead. Modern sales has nothing to do with forcing someone to buy something they don't need. It's all about transferring your genuine enthusiasm for a solution and actually truly solving a customer's problem. And this right here, this gets to the heart of it. Any action you take that makes a customer want to pay for something or want to come back, well, that's an act of selling. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to find the invisible salesperson that's hiding in every department. Then we'll look at how everyone is responsible for guarding something called the sales funnel. After that, we'll dive into a really powerful idea called the emotional bank account. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple mission you can literally start tomorrow.
So, let's kick things off with part 1, the invisible salesperson. This is all about looking at what you do every single day through a new lens. Because no matter how far away you think you are from the customer, you're selling something incredibly valuable. Let's dig into what that actually means.
So here's the absolute key takeaway. You do not need to meet a customer face-to-face to be in sales, not anymore. With this modern definition, if you write a line of code that makes an app buttery smooth, or you process an invoice so efficiently it's almost invisible, you are directly contributing to a sale. You're making it easier, better, and just more pleasant for a customer to do business with your company.
And this is where it gets really cool, when we start translating these everyday tasks into the real products being sold. So take a look at accounting. On paper, they send invoices, right? But what they're really selling is peace of mind and convenience. Just imagine, a customer's ready to buy, but they ask to pay in 2 installments. The accountant says, sorry, company policy is 100% upfront, no exceptions. Guess what? The customer hangs up and calls your competitor who is flexible. And boom, that accountant, without ever seeing or speaking to the customer, just single-handedly killed a deal. Now that idea flows perfectly into our next section. Let's talk about the sales funnel. The easiest way to think about this is like a map of a customer's entire journey, from being a total stranger who's never heard of you, all the way to becoming a raving fan. And every single person in the company has a job guarding that journey. But here's the tough truth about that journey. It's called a funnel for a reason. It gets narrower and narrower. The numbers can be kind of brutal. You might pour 1,000 potential customers into the top, but only a tiny handful, maybe just 10 of them, will actually come out the bottom as paying customers. See, every single step is a chance for a leak, a place where people can just fall out. Your job is to plug those leaks. This whole journey really breaks down into 4 key stages. First, you've got awareness. That's where they find out you even exist. Then comes consideration, where they're sizing you up against the competition. After that is the big one, the decision, where they pull out their wallet. And finally, retention, which is all about making sure they stick around. So let's see how every department plays a role in each of these stages. Okay, top of the funnel, awareness. Picture this. The marketing team just dropped a ton of money on a huge ad campaign. Thousands of people are clicking and heading to your website. But what happens if the site can't handle the traffic and crashes? All that money? Poof, it's gone, completely vaporized. The IT pro who made sure the servers were stable is the silent hero of that entire campaign. They're literally guarding the front door. So now they're aware of you. Next up is the consideration stage. Now they're comparing. A salesperson is on the phone and asks the warehouse, hey, do we have 500 of these in stock for immediate shipping? If the warehouse team takes forever to get back to them or the info is wrong, that customer isn't waiting around. They are already on the phone with your competitor. All of a sudden, the speed and accuracy of your warehouse team just became a killer sales tool. And now we're at the most delicate moment of all, the decision. The customer is excited, they're ready to go, they've said yes. But then, bam, the legal department sends over a 20-page contract that looks like it was written in another language. The customer gets intimidated, all that excitement fades, and the deal is suddenly on thin ice. Simplicity and removing friction right at the finish line is everything.
And finally, we get to what might be the most important stage of all, retention. Look, the first sale usually just covers your costs to get that customer. The real profit is in the second, third, and fourth sale. The deal isn't really done until the product is in their hands. So if that delivery driver is rude or the tech support person is condescending, that good feeling just evaporates. And that customer, they're never coming back. All that work to get them through the funnel was for nothing.
This all leads us to a really powerful way to think about customer relationships. I want you to imagine that every single customer has an emotional bank account with your company. Every interaction, every email, every phone call, no matter how small, is either a deposit or withdrawal.
And here's the simple, brutal math of that bank account. A good experience, a good touch point, it's like a small deposit. Let's call it a +1. But a bad experience, that has a huge, outsized impact. It's like a -5 withdrawal. It can take 5 good experiences just to cancel out the damage of one bad one. So preventing the bad stuff is way more important than just creating the good stuff. Let's make this super real. We've all seen this. A customer is trying to sign up on your website, something breaks, and they get this cold, robotic error message. It was probably written by someone in IT. The customer has no idea what it means. They just feel frustrated and stupid, so they leave. That's a massive withdrawal from their emotional account. But what if that person in IT took an extra 2 minutes to write a more human error message? The same exact problem happens, but this time the screen says this. It's friendly, it's apologetic, and most importantly, it gives them an immediate way to solve their problem. You've just turned a moment of complete failure into a moment where the customer actually feels taken care of. That is a huge deposit. You know, when you look at all these interactions, they really boil down to 2 moments of truth that matter more than anything. The first is, of course, the first impression. But the second one, and I'd argue it's even more important, is the recovery moment. Look, mistakes are going to happen. Things will break. But here's the key. Customers don't leave because you made a mistake. They leave because of how you handled that mistake. A fantastic recovery can actually make a customer more loyal than if nothing ever went wrong in the first place. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ideas. But theory is one thing. It's time to turn this into action. I want to give you a very simple, very powerful mission that you can start the second you're done with this. You are going to become a touchpoint auditor. And this is the one question I want you to ask yourself and ask your team. We're not talking about big budgets or complicated projects. Just this. What is one tiny, totally free change your department can make to take a customer interaction from just being normal and turning it into a wow moment? And here's exactly how you do it. It's a 10-minute audit, that's all. Step 1, list 3 touch points your team creates. This could be an automatic email reply, an invoice, even the hold music on the phone. Step 2, be brutally honest and rate them. Are they annoying, just okay, or are they genuinely a wow? And finally, step 3, just pick one of them and brainstorm one simple, zero-cost way to make it better. That's it. Let's wrap this all up with this final thought. The work you do every day, the quality and care you put into every single task, that isn't just back office support. It's the ammunition. It's the armor. It is the single most powerful weapon the sales team takes with them out into the world. When you perfect your internal work, you are directly fueling sales and securing the future of the entire company.